All right, so are you ready to jump into this? We're talking house building today. This deep dive is for anyone who wants to know how to build a career, quite literally from the ground up. We've got it all, blueprints, toolboxes, you name it. And let me tell you, it's not just about hammers and nails.
Yeah, you see all those videos online, those construction sites. It's not always as glamorous in real life, and it's a lot more diverse than people think.
Really, so it's more than building a house from scratch?
Yeah, way more. Think renovations, repairs, even just understanding building codes, making sure those houses are, strong and up to standard. It's about their construction, maintenance, and repair. And we're talking about similar structures too, not just houses.
Gotcha. So you're not just building a house, but also like a sense of security for the people who are going to live there. That's got to be rewarding.
Totally. And honestly, with how the housing market is right now, people like us, skilled tradespeople, are in high demand.
Oh, yeah. Job security right away. That's a plus.
Exactly. And it's only going up, especially in those cities where it seems like everyone's moving to. Location, 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 am I right?
Makes sense. Okay, so we've got job security, we've got a hand in shaping communities, but what about like day to day? What's it actually like on a construction site?
Well, picture this. You're outside, right? Maybe it's a gorgeous sunny day, or maybe it's pouring rain.
Let's be real, construction doesn't just stop for a little rain.
Exactly. You're surrounded by power tools, fresh lumber, the smell. It's definitely physical, lifting materials, being on your feet all day.
Not a desk job.
Nope, definitely not. And speaking of being on your feet, safety is so important, Hard hats, goggles, steel-toed boots. Those aren't just for looks. It's a high-energy environment, and you always have to be aware.
I bet. All that while navigating tight spaces, interesting designs even.
Yeah, but this is where it gets really cool. Technology. It's really changing things up. Like, forget that image of the builder with just a hammer. Well, not entirely, but add a tablet to that picture.
No, now we're talking. What kind of technology?
I'm talking 3D modeling for projects, management tools to keep everything on track, even apps to control power tools remotely.
Wow, so you need to be tech savvy on top of everything else.
Absolutely. A house builder today needs to be adaptable, a quick learner, and comfortable with digital tools. It's like this. You're not just building a house, but a future too.
Now that's a career that's constantly evolving. I bet that keeps things interesting. But what about the skills you need to actually succeed? Is it something you're just born with, or can you actually learn it?
That's a great question, and it leads perfectly into the next part as our deep dive.
All right, let's build on this foundation and see what it takes to actually make it in the house building world. So you're saying there's more to house building than just, what you see on the surface. It's not all just like strong backs and power drills.
Yeah, got it. Think of it like this. Those physical skills are your base, your foundation. But to really make it, you need a whole other set of tools.
Metaphorical tools. Like
Now,
what?
let's say you're on a job, and the plumbing, it just doesn't line up with what the architect had planned. You need to be able to think fast, problem solve, right? Make adjustments, but also make sure you're still following those building codes.
Right. Can't have a house that floods every time you flush the toilet. What else?
Communication is huge. You're working with so many people, electricians, roofers, even the homeowners. Being able to communicate, like your vision, your progress, any issues that's crucial for a smooth build.
So you're not just building a house, you're building what, like relationships, trust?
You're getting it.
Yeah.
And that leads us to another skill, being able to read those blueprints.
Okay, back to literal tools for a sec. I gotta be honest, I can barely fold a fitted sheet. Blueprints seem like a whole other language.
It can seem like that, definitely. But think of them like a roadmap. They're telling you where things go, how they fit together. And these days, a lot of times it's digital. You might even be looking at blueprints on a tablet right there on the site.
There's that tech again. I'm seeing how this career is a cool mix of like old school skills and then new technology. That's pretty unique.
And it doesn't stop there. Building codes change. There's always new materials. Sustainable practices are becoming so important.
Yeah, how do you even keep up with all that? Is it like weekend classes or what?
It really depends. Could be industry events, online courses, even just reading those trade publications, The main thing is to be curious and be ready for the field to change.
I bet all that learning helps you move up too, right?
Absolutely. You might start as an apprentice, learning from more experienced builders, but over time you gain expertise and you might even find a specialty, a certain type of construction you really enjoy.
Specialty. Like what? What are some examples?
Well, you could be the go-to person for, say, green building, focusing on making homes energy efficient. Or maybe you're into restoring old buildings, keeping that craftsmanship alive.
Oh yeah. I saw this documentary about people who restore cathedrals. It's incredible how detail-oriented they are. But let's be real for a second. It's gotta be tough, right? Long hours, weather delays. I'm sure things don't always go as planned.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. Long hours are a real thing, sometimes weekends too, to meet deadlines. And you're right, sometimes Mother Nature has other plans.
So you need to be able to think on your feet.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then there's dealing with clients. Everyone's got an opinion when it comes to their dream home.
Oh, tell me about it. I once spent an hour debating the placement of a lamp with my partner.
Exactly. Now amplify that too, like load-bearing walls or what kind of foundation you need.
Oh.
Being able to manage those expectations, communicate clearly, and even sometimes be a mediator. It's all part of the job.
Sounds like you need the patience of a saint and the problem-solving skills of an engineer. But what about the good stuff? What are the rewards?
Well, I'm telling you, there's nothing like finishing a project and seeing that building, something you helped build, that feeling. It's really special knowing you created something real, something that's going to last.
Okay, I have to admit, that's a pretty strong argument. But job satisfaction doesn't pay the bills, right? What's the financial side look like?
Good question. It's one a lot of people want to know about. So let's get into it. How much can a house builder earn, and what affects that income?
Now you're speaking my language. Give me the details.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk numbers. We've talked skills, challenges, the tech. But what's the paycheck look like at the end of the day?
Yeah, you got to make a living, right? And the good news is house builders can do really well for themselves. Skilled trades are in high demand.
That's what I like to hear. But I'm guessing it's not the same for everyone.
Definitely not. It depends. Experience is a big one,
Yeah.
obviously, but also where you are, what you specialize in.
Okay, break it down. What are the big factors?
So someone just starting out, maybe finished an apprenticeship, they're not going to be making what someone with years of experience is making.
Makes sense. Experience pays off.
Exactly. And then location. Big city, high cost of living. Those builders are making more than someone in a smaller town.
Supply and demand, right?
Mhm.
More houses. Got to have the builders, got to pay them.
You got it.
Yeah.
And last but not least, specializing. Remember, we talked about those niche areas. If you're the go-to person for historical stuff or high-end eco builds, that's valuable.
Find your niche, become an expert. The money follows. I like it. But it comes back to finding the right fit, doesn't it?
100%. This isn't just picking any job. It's about finding what you connect with. Are you all about the newest green tech? Do you love the idea of restoring old places? That's the kind of stuff that makes a career, not just a job.
It's not every day you can say you build your dream job, literally.
That's the truth. So if you're thinking about this, really ask yourself what excites you about building.
What would you build, given the chance? Modern mansion. Cozy cabin. Something totally off the grid.
Possibilities are endless, really.
And on that note, we got to start wrapping up this deep dive. But before we go, any last words of wisdom for our listeners who are thinking about building a career in, well, building?
Do your research, talk to people actually doing it, try some projects yourself, even shadow someone for a day, see what it's really like.
That's great advice. Nothing beats getting your hands dirty, right?
Exactly.
This has been awesome, a real look into what it means to be a house builder. Thanks for joining us as we explored the ins and outs, from skills to challenges, tech, and yeah, how much you can earn.
My pleasure.
And to everyone listening, remember, the best way to predict the future is to build it. Until next time, stay curious.